Hi friends, I'm Manoj and we'll talk about ethics masterclass. It's interesting to talk about this paper and especially the configuration of marks, design, anything else. Last year also we have witnessed marks, it's a pattern, high and low both. There are several reasons for that, but I don't want to go into it. So first, let's try to understand briefly how this paper has witnessed its journey and what kind of questions they started and how this paper evolved very quickly. See, if you look at the question paper of 2013 when this paper was introduced, most of the questions were in and around the keywords, most of the keywords. And so it set a trend, it set a pattern of preparation that everything moves in and around the keywords. Because in 2013 and 14, the number of questions in and around the keywords were high. And still you will find that in your strategy, this notion is deeply fitted, deeply embedded. You think for ethics, you think for the keywords. It's important. But the question is it the only thing that you should practice for? This is the only thing that you do for the entire year or whatever time you give to this paper? Why I ask you? Because this will help you to understand why high and low in this paper. So in 2013, if you look at, there were only three opinion philosophical based questions. Rest were very simple because the paper was introduced. That's okay. Interestingly, in 2014, the opinion based questions or more philosophical and open-ended question increased to the 8 questions. And very important that in 2014, the whole design of the paper shifted from the personal ethics to the societal ethics. Just see, do you notice this kind of trend pattern when any paper evolves? Clearly, you will find that there is a ethics at the societal level and question were focused more and more on this rather than the personal ethics. Interestingly, in 2015, it was more a taste of the concepts, clarity of concepts. How? Because you will find that in 2015 paper loaded with comparing, competing, contradictory keywords like law versus ethics, management of ethics versus ethics of management, etc. You cannot do it until unless there is a sharp and clear cut or clarity in concept. In 2016, whatever the keyword they have asked in 2013, 14, 15, they moved to the application of those keywords in 2016. For example, social influence for Swachh Bharat. In emotional intelligence, they ask about managing anger. Then ethics for social well-being, etc. So it moved a little bit towards the application side of everything. Then there were theory-based questions also related to the John Rawls, Gandhi 17, etc. In 2017, the paper was completely application-based. Completely application. And application of the ideas, principles, etc. in the domain of administration. In the domain of administration, they have started asking like the corporate governance and some of those kind of questions. In 2018, the question paper was set in and around the evaluating ethical competency for civil services rather than the common man ethics. It was mostly evaluating the competency in and around the services itself. And so 2014, 15, 16, 17, the questions were moving in and around the ethics at the personal level, societal level, completely gone. And a new kind of trend they have set. 2019, introduce keywords, but very contemporary. For example, constitutional morality, public life, public servant, public interest, etc. 2020, they have asked questions more and more, applied ethics in social issues, in societal areas. See the kind of you can say approach they follow. The fundamentals are same, but the thrust, the focused area keep on moving, and it has to be. It has to be. It has to be. And so I'm not saying anything new. Similarly, in 2021 also, you will find a lot of questions which is application based. And so what I'm going to do in the master class, let's say it's a kind of, you can say 2 weeks or 15 days completely, everything, whether it is open-ended question or case study, everything through answer writing. Why I narrated this? Because this is very, very important to understand that how this paper has evolved. In this paper, with my limited experience, I can say that the biggest problem is open-ended question, philosophical question, questions based on principles, etc. Though it appears very easy, but it takes a little bit more time, and in the previous years also I have witnessed that the candidates, when attempt these kind of questions, their answers go repetitive. They are far better in applied ethics, far better. They write objectively, but when it is open-ended questions, sometimes it is difficult to sustain the quality. And so I have decided that in this, you can say 15 days session, which is a daily answer writing based approach, I'm going to focus equally on the open-ended, philosophical, applied, and so on. Last 2-3 years questions, you will find that mostly tilted towards the applied. And so whenever you are doing your current affairs, try to understand that what are the issues where you can apply the basic principles. That helps you to get prepared in advance. We all know a case study is the crux of this paper, in the sense you fetch marks almost like mathematics from this. So out of 120, you may get 70, 80, 90, something sort of thing. And that's why you will find that certain candidates are getting, you can say 130, 35 sometime, etc. Case study is nothing but a test of decision-making process. It's not simply decision making. No, not at all. It's not simply problem solving. It's a decision making process. It's basically about the quality of the decision making process. There you take edge over the others. Everyone attempts, but why somebody gets 70, 80, 90 marks out of 120? Probably they used to get 70, 80. Then only you can get 130 or 140 in aggregate. Why I say daily answer writing and why we are going through the daily answer writing, because only teaching a theoretical premise is not suffice and not required. So first class, so that a context is set, a framework is set, approach is discussed, and then a daily answer writing. So that if fairly assessed and assessed quickly, you know how to take, where to take the corrective measures. Nothing else for this, you can say, is required for 250 marks. I always say that current affairs integration in this preparation is required, very much required. Then only you can sustain the quality of the answer. Because until unless you have sufficient examples, your ability to substantiate your point, views, etc. are there, you cannot sustain quality. You cannot take edge over the others. And this helps you to take from the current affairs. Unfortunately, you never ever thought of it how to link with the current affairs, never practice, and never ever, you can say, it even appears in the intention, and that's why there is a problem. And last point is that the whole program is completely a mentor-based approach, where I am available, I am fully available to handle your queries, because 10 to 12 days, you can say, a dedicated and committed hours is sufficient for 250 marks. And then the rest of the time, whatever you have to do, you do it for the optional and the other areas. So this is all about my approach for this paper. Thank you very much. Thank you.